Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on Unscripted. I'm your host, Josh Mansour, and before we get into it, as always, please hit that subscribe button. Follow us across all platforms at Unscripted, the show. Our guest today is regarded as one of the best defensive minds in the game, a coach who's helped build premiership-winning systems, elite standards, and now leads one of the biggest rebuilds in the NRL. From his time inside the Penrith dynasty to taking on the challenge of transforming the Bulldogs, his focus on culture, defense, and long-term success has been clear from day one. I'm pumped for this one. Let's get straight into it. Ciro, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's good to be here, even though we're 25 minutes late, but
Hey, listen.
appreciate you getting here.
Listen, I could give you an excuse and say there was so much traffic today, but I'm not going to. I'm late. I'm sorry. I apologise. I'll buy a bottle of red. How about that?
Beautiful, beautiful. I love how you're taking accountability and to see that growth in you over the last 15 years. It's awesome.
Come a long way. And in fairness, Pedro, am I ever late?
He's never been late once, to be honest. The only person that's ever been late on this show is Michael Checker.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Check actually had a car breakdown and he had to get
A go-get.
It's a go-get. He's rocked up in a go-get. I'm like, far out. Love the commitment.
You're looking good too. I was actually going to wear a singlet myself.
Why didn't you?
Oh, just what you wore at the UFC. I was thinking about.
See, this has been a running joke, you know. Like, to be fair, I had a shirt with me in the car. It was hot that day. I took it off while I was driving, and because I was in such a rush, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it in there. And but I was feeling myself. What can I say? I was feeling good.
You've always been a little bit different, so just back yourself.
Well, coming from you, like, I'm not gonna take any fashion insults because we're off and running. We're off and running. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, it's good to be here. We're sort of right in the midst of preparations, and we fly out to Vegas in a week, so very excited.
How's pre-season?
Oh, it's been good to watch. The boys they've worked really hard. They've done really well. Put themselves in a good position to start the year, but that's all it is. It's just a good position, and the hard work starts again in a couple of weeks' time.
Do the priorities change for you as a coach, like from your first year as head coach of the Bulldogs to now? What you want to get out of pre-season?
Possibly, but only slightly. I think the first year is finding out probably, or implementing systems and standards and finding out, who can live up to that and come on the journey. And now it's like we've got a squad that, we really believe in and we, had a hand in bringing them all there, the majority of them. And now it's just trying to find that next level every year.
How long in your tenure did you start seeing change and, I guess, a positive reaction from the group absorbing what you're giving them?
Oh, every individual is different, I reckon. Early on, like in the first few weeks there was some guys that really took to it. I reckon Jacob Carraz was probably one of the early ones that, we could see growth in him straight away and commitment to what we were doing. And then, to see his sort of footy flourish over the last 3 years on the back of that was good. And Jacob Preston was another one who had come there. I think he was playing flag at the Roosters the year before, and to watch him just sort of grow over those 3 years, but particularly early on, was awesome. And those two guys, they picked up all the awards after the first year, and deservedly so. But their journey's been just great to watch the last 3 years.
In the last pre-season, or this pre-season, current pre-season, has anyone really stood out for you that you can mention?
I think Presto again.
Wow.
To be honest, like he came back from the Kangaroo tour. He didn't get to play a game over there, but he obviously watched all those elite players and picked up a lot, and he's come back with a different intensity, a different sort of attitude. So he's one guy I'm really keen to watch start the season.
What about Critter? Not only physically, but leadership-wise. How has that been watching him grow?
Well, firstly, physically, Critter, I don't think he had a break this year. He had obviously the injuries, the semi-final series.
Yeah.
And he, in his own time, while everyone else was on holidays, he went and trained down at a gym in Caringbah there with Justin Lang and put in a lot of work. I think it was 6 weeks' work before the boys came back to training just to get his body as strong as it possibly could be. He made massive gains through that period. And we've sort of seen that come out in him physically over the pre-season. Then leadership-wise, he's just continued to grow, continued to be himself and be his authentic self and continued to grow. And that's been good to watch from afar. But he's taken people with him on that leadership journey as well. He's helping other people become better leaders, and that's been a really good part of his growth as well.
You've always been big on like standards or enforcing positive standards on your players. What are a few standards you can give that show an elite player?
They start as really simple as being on time, wearing the right gear, coming in with the right body language, all those sort of things.
So it's all simple things when you think
all
about
very
it.
simple things, and then the standards within our attack and defence system is just clearly around doing your job. Everyone's got a job to play or a role to play on every play, and we just need you to do that job. And for us, that means having no plays off, which is hard. It's very hard.
And you need players to reinforce that, right? Like you can't be the only voice mentioning all these things. Like the players need to buy into that, and they need to obviously hold each other accountable. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. If there's just one guy cracking the whip, it doesn't work. So, to have a staff that totally believe in all that stuff, and I've got to say our staff, the evolution of them over the 4 years has been really good. I feel like our staff right now is as connected as it's ever been. Our coaching staff in particular. We've had a couple of new guys come on, Adam O'Brien and Mick Coulin this year, who have really added to what we're doing, and we all get along like best mates, so that's been really good. But it can't be the staff just driving those standards. It's got to be the players, and the players are driving that because they understand that's what helps us win games, and that's all they want to do when they walk in every day.
Adam O'Brien, is he going to be overseeing the attack?
Yeah.
And will that change much compared to last year, or?
Yeah, we worked really hard on trying to build a system over the 3 years. I think, in probably 2024, it was, we had to really focus on our defence. Our defence in 2023 was worse than the comp, and we understood the reasons why. So we had to spend the majority of time on our defence, and that meant we just, had a really simple structure in attack, and we probably just needed that to be able to focus all our time and energy on defence. But now we want to see that attack grow and try and take us to the next level, and I've definitely seen signs of that over the pre-season, and I think we'll see that throughout the year. But I think the key is that just to start slow to start the year and take it, make sure we're building our game each game and each week, and I think the work we've done in pre-season will come out at some stage this year.
Pedro's a Newcastle man. You're a former Newcastle man. What did you see in Adam O'Brien that was going to be the right fit for your attack?
Oh, I've known Adam a long time. Okay. We worked together the country rugby league team 2016 and 17. Him and I were Craig Fitzgibbon's assistant coaches in that, and we got along really well.
Did you win that game?
No, we didn't.
I played that game, so.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it back to you. I was waiting for that. But no, Adam and I got along really well. I learned so much off him in that camp. I was really young coach then. I had a lot of experience, so to learn off him and Fitzy during that camp was awesome. So Adam and I always kept in touch. We always stayed mates, and when he walked away from Newcastle, I just got on the phone and thought he'd be a really good fit for us. Firstly, personality-wise, and secondly, his knowledge around footy and his application to coaching.
There's been a lot of talk around Mitch Woods as of late, and I want to be careful here because I know he's still very young and he's still got a lot of development left in him. What do you see in him, and what can you share with all the fans watching about him?
Firstly, I love coaching Woodsy. He's one of those guys that, special players that just tick every box and just chase excellence in everything they do.
Wow.
And at 19, that's very rare. You don't see that in too many players, but he's the application he puts into preparation, training, learning, everything. That's
wow.
When his time comes, he'll just have a really good foundation in that. But he's young. He's 19. He's smaller body, and he's just learning his body's probably learning to handle NRL training right now, and he's had a couple of injury things, but we understand what sort of player he's going to be in the long term, and there's no rush from our end. When he's ready and his body's ready, he'll get his opportunity, and I'm sure he'll take it with both hands.
How do you know when a player's ready? Is it situational, like how you guys are going, injuries, or just by looking at him, how he's carving up in training or playing reserve grade or flag?
Yeah.
How do you decide?
I think I'm still learning that side of it. I think I'm getting better at understanding that, but definitely around how they're training, how they're reacting to adversity, and then how they're playing. Obviously, if you're the best player in New South Wales Cup, you're telling me you're ready to play NRL. But I've been really lucky to have Gus there over the last 3 years here, but also at Penrith before that, to sort of give me his experience about when players are ready, and he's the best in the game at that. So I think I tell the story all the time about Woodsy. Like at Penrith, Nathan was ready at 18 and Jerome was ready at 20. Like he took a couple of years, and credit to Jerome that he stayed patient and trusted in the process. So when he's ready, there's plenty of other young kids that would have just throwing the toys out of the cotton.
Not many are
Often got an
patient anymore,
opportunity.
right?
No, patience is a virtue. So, yeah, Jerome's probably one of those guys that stayed patient and trusted in it, and he reaped the rewards when he did come into first grade and he was ready.
Is he out injured, Woodsy? Is he? For how long?
Yeah. Not too sure. Probably 6 weeks. But we'll be patient and make sure he's getting the best of care and ready when he comes back.
Could he debut this year? I know it's very early, but
yeah, hopefully. But I don't mind if he does or doesn't. We love him. We value him. We can't wait to see him play, but we don't want to rush him either.
a few ex-Panther boys at the Dogs. One that comes to mind is Jaeman Salmon. How's he going?
He's all right. He does my head in every day, but people say, why you got grey hair? Is it from coaching? I said, well, it's maybe from 3 teenage daughters or from Jaeman Salmon. I don't know yet.
What makes him so stressful?
His personality. He's got a funny personality, but me and him, I think we've got a lot of trust between us. So
Yeah.
he can walk in and tell me exactly what he thinks, and I can tell him exactly what I think, and it's all good.
If I was to call him now, what do you reckon he'll say about you?
Oh,
You know what? Let's call him. Let's call him.
you don't want to listen to his dribble, mate. I thought you were trying to get podcast views, not lose viewers.
Put people to sleep. Let's see if he might not. He probably won't answer, but let's just have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
This is fascinating podcasting here.
This is riveting right now.
Saul,
Hey, what's doing?
what's doing, brother?
Not much, man. Just kicking back. What about you? Been well? Long time.
Yeah, no, I'm just at home, mate. Just having a feed, man. Just cruising, eh?
Always easy.
Nice.
What's going on?
How's pre-season been?
Yeah, it's been good, man. It's been hard, as always. Sarah's got some new theories this year. I think he watched the Game Changers the other week and he makes us all vegetarian stuff this year. But,
This is a setup.
I couldn't keep going, bro.
It's so obvious. It is so obvious when you say, let's call him. As if you haven't figured
I
that
knew
out.
he knew. I knew he'd know, eh?
He's always onto it, eh? You know what? He's the ultimate prankster. That's why.
Yeah, I know he is. I know, but I knew he'd be like, oh, let's ring him. He'd fucking know.
Well, hey, he was actually giving you heaps of praise just before we called you. So make sure you tune into the episode when it drops, yeah?
Thanks, appreciate
You'll
it.
be the only listener to this after that.
Thanks, brother. Have a good day. Rip in. Bye. Did you know I was on it? Did you know?
That's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Oh, was it really? I thought was it really?
Little bit.
Oh, what gave it away?
I think he knows you boys better than you think. That's
Yeah, I know. Fucking hell.
No one stops a podcast to just make a random phone call.
Well, this is authentic. This is real as it gets, mate. Like, yeah, this is unscripted, you know? Like, look, mate.
But that was scripted.
That was heavily scripted. I did plan for that. Oh my God. I really thought I had you. All right. We were talking about Woodsy before, if he was ready to debut this year and whatnot. So you're going to start the season with Birdo at 6, Galv at 7?
That'd be a scoop, wouldn't it, if I told you the team?
Oh,
they've
would it be?
got the majority of reps over the pre-season. Like Birdo and Lockie have they had some opportunities to combine at the back end of last season, and then they've done the majority of reps together during pre-season. But yeah, we've got Sean O'Sullivan there who's come in and experienced half as well, who's had a really good pre-season, and he's knocking on the door of an opportunity as well. But yeah, Birdo and Galvin, they start this week's trial together, and they'll get the first opportunity in that. And I really like what I've seen from those two over the pre-season.
The debate's out with the fans. They were both saying like they're both sixes, and you know, credit to them both. They're great running halves. But can you see Galvin's development as a half, especially since when you first arrived to now?
Yeah. I think if you look at a lot of halfbacks across the competition, a lot of them started as either fullbacks or 5'8s and have evolved into that. So actually, if you look back at the SG Ball program at Penrith, Jerome Luai was the 7 and Nathan Cleary was the 6.
I remember that.
There's plenty of 5'8s that have turned into halfbacks. And it just depends on what style you play. What I have liked about Lockie's evolution over the 3 months we've been training is how quickly he's learnt every day. Some sessions there early in the pre-season where he had to learn quickly, and he came out in the next session and took those lessons and fixed them straight away. So if he can keep learning like that, then there's no reason he can't do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of news going around Birdo as well. He's going to Perth, is this and that. The last one I saw the other day, he was going to go to the NFL to be a punter. I think he could do it.
He was kicking an NFL ball the other day.
How far was that?
I love Birdo's maturity on that the last 12 months. I think he's really been able to understand that there's always going to be noise around, and he doesn't let that affect him anymore. Or plenty of people would, but I think Birdo and I have got a really good relationship where we spend a lot of time together. Our families are friends, and he can come to me and talk about anything. And if there is stuff like that he's worried about, I'm sure he comes and talks to me about it.
Well, I think Nathan Cleary is off end of 2027. So if you need a halfback, I think maybe
You're his manager, are you?
Oh.
You're on podcasting now. You're managing.
Oh, I'm sort of like a manager, I like to promote him in a good positive light and put him in the right positions from time to time. Why you been having a lot of digs at me today?
No, this is how it works.
Oh, fair enough. One player I want to mention as well is Leo Thompson.
Yeah.
How's his arrival been to the club?
Oh, good. Yeah, he's an ultimate professional. I think I rang James Fisher-Harris about him when we first went and met him.
Yeah.
And he just said, man, he's a sponge. Like, he just wants to soak it all up and learn and get better. And I've just seen that in him since the day he walked in the door. He chases detail. He's in the coaches' rooms all the time trying to get better. But the character he's brought to our team, like, he's got that physical presence and that sort of enforcer mentality. So, yeah, really excited that he joined our club.
He's Fish like 2.0. Like, do you see a lot of similarities between them two?
A lot of similarities. There's probably a lot of similarities in most front rowers, I reckon. But those guys, particularly you see a lot of similarities in the way they play, but the way they prepare in particular.
Where's he at physically? Because I think he had a couple of niggles.
Yeah, he had a quad strain just around Christmas, but he's got a bit of work in lately. He's playing for the Maori All-Stars this week, and it'd be good to see him put some of that work in pre-season out on the field, and we can't wait to see him pull on the blue and white over in Vegas.
So we'll see him round one.
Yep.
Beautiful. And Karaz, he's gone through a bit of a calf strain. Is that right?
Yeah, but before that, he was having his best pre-season. He was getting a lot of work in. He's had a couple of things with his body over the last few pre-seasons that have stopped him getting a lot of work in, but he got a lot of work in before a little calf strain a few weeks ago, so I think he's built a really good foundation for the season. It was awesome last year to see him just sort of get very close to Origin and being around that sort of arena. So if he can stay on that trajectory, there's no reason he can't be there this year.
Well, you'd like to think so, because obviously Lomax has left. There's a vacant spot there on that wing, and I think, like you said, Karaz was pretty much next up in line. And you said something about him last year. He had like a few niggles and a few areas that he needed to work on physically, but he was still punching up massive numbers. Yeah. How was he doing that? Like, what was his load like during the week?
Yeah, I don't think he had a pre-season last year, really.
Yeah.
And he missed the first 4 weeks and came straight back in and was probably one of our best players. He was brilliant. Probably the lack of pre-season later in the year might have hurt him. He probably didn't have that foundation to find another gear. But the work he's done pre-Christmas and after Christmas this year, I think he'll go to the next level this year. When
fans watch the Bulldogs, what do you want them to see?
Oh, number one, I want them to see a team that works hard. I don't want to see us get outworked. That's what this club's been built on for a long time is hard work. So that's the number one thing. And then always want to see a team that works together. You can have the 13 most talented guys out on the field, but if they don't work together, it doesn't work. So we want to see a really good connection among our team and a team that puts the team first and the we before me. And that's a lot around the guys we've recruited, a team first people. And then I want to see us really be committed to our processes and our systems and trusting in that. So they're the three things we talk about all the time: is working hard, making sure we're working together, and trusting and committing to our process.
What are I'm going to dig in a little bit here, and it's a bit more of an internal thing, so I understand if you don't want to share it, but what are the values and the pillars for your kind of culture?
Excellence is, I think most high performance organisations would have excellence as one of their values, but we constantly review ourselves around that. Is that excellence or is it not? And if it's not, we need to chase excellence. So that's one of the big ones. Grit grit is the other one. The Bulldog is actually a symbol of determination and grit. The Canterbury-Bankstown was the Berries before we became the Bulldogs, and when the guys back then were looking for a symbol to represent the club, they were looking for a symbol of determination and grit, and that is what the Bulldog stands for. So, yeah, grit's the other big one that we talk about a lot.
I was a Bulldog. You were a Bulldogs man growing up, supporter?
They were my second team, actually. I was a Balmain fan growing up, but I went to school at Moorebank.
Did you?
Yeah, in the Bulldogs area, and so our adopted school guy was Craig Polamauna. He came out to our school and would bring posters out and things like that. And then you'd go to the Bulldogs knockouts, and we either won or were runners up, and we got a Bulldogs shirt. So it was one of the only shirts I had of a team growing up. So I'd constantly wear around this Bulldogs shirt in the mid-90s and wear it to training every day. And
Yeah.
So Bulldogs was my second team, particularly around that 95 era.
Yeah, I was Doggies mad growing up. Family lived in Belmore. Doggies Junior. I played for St John's Eagles Punch Bowl. And you know the back fence with the golf, not the train side, the street, suburban side. My uncle used to live in that street, and I remember I used to go down and just peek through the gate and stuff like that, and good memories.
My grandmother lived 200 metres from Belmore Station.
Oh, wow.
And she worked at the RSL straight across from Joe Bell's. And she didn't have a car, so we were always walking from her house down to the RSL there. And that's how you knew it was finals time, when all the blue and white flags over the main street there, that's when you knew it was finals. And so all of my sort of early childhood, a lot of it was revolved around the Bulldogs, and I think that helped me understand what the club was about. And I'm just got to pinch myself sometimes in the position I'm in now.
You know what you've done so well? You mentioned the word connection, and I can see how important that is to your team, but the connection for the fans as well with the club itself and the players, that hasn't been there, fair to say, before your arrival, and you've done that really well. Has that been front of mind? Has that been a focus for you?
Yeah, well, it's a community club. That was one bit of advice Ivan gave me before I left was, I'd been at community clubs before. Sharks was a community club. Newcastle, obviously one team town, and then Penrith as well, so community based. And he thought I needed to go to a team that was community based, and he was spot on. And then I walked in the doors at Belmore, and up on the wall it has Unite and Inspire, the family club that unites and inspires. So I started to ask around, what's Unite and Inspire mean? And then the stories that I was getting back from people who grew up in the area or had family move into the area. The Bulldogs is just such a symbol for our community that unites so many races, religions, cultures.
Agree.
Like no other team. Someone told me, I said no other team in Australia, and someone stopped me one day and said no other team in the world does that. So
wow.
I think that's pretty powerful. And to unite, be a symbol of unity, and then also to inspire that community to go on and be a Bulldogs player or go on to do bigger and better things. I think that's something pretty powerful.
You mentioned Ivan. Do you still keep in touch?
Yeah, of course. Our families are great friends, and we don't talk as much these days. Obviously, we're both pretty busy, and but we see each other at different events and talk every now and then. And I know he reached out to me when we were struggling in 2023, and he was obviously reaching out to make sure I was all right. So you remember things like that.
What was the advice he gave you in that tough year? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I remember you remember who reaches out and,
for sure,
and things like that. So I think for us, during that time, the thing I could lean on the most was going through the tough time in 2019 at Penrith. That led to good things happening after that. So I was through that time. I was really confident in having seen the process of what had happened in 2019 to 2020.
Was it hard for you to leave? Was it a hard decision? Because you're pretty emotionally connected, like me, with the club. How did you know it was the right time for you to go on and take on a head coaching job?
Yeah, it was the hardest decision I've had to make in my footy career.
Wow.
Most other times I left clubs, it was because they didn't want me anymore. So it was just, I just had to find somewhere else to go. But this one was extremely tough. I remember last day doing a video there at Penrith and sort of breaking down in tears. Maybe because we would celebrate Mad Monday the day before, and I was a bit emotional. But it was hard because it was like a family there, and then all of a sudden you're leaving the family to go and nearly start your own. So it was hard, and I wasn't someone that was chasing a head coaching job. I know, I was very happy doing what I was doing. I sort of felt like I had the best job. I was at a great club, and been with a lot of the same people for 10 years or longer. So I definitely wasn't chasing anything else. But, after talking to Gus and understanding what the Bulldogs was built on, it was an opportunity too good to go past.
You take things for granted sometimes as a player as well. Like, that environment was so unique and so special that, what was it? The 2020 year for me personally was the most connected, the most ambitious, the most belief I've ever had as a player.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really come around very often. Like, we all work hard in the preseason. We're all like, yeah, we're going to do this. You have all those beautiful words on the wall, but sometimes it doesn't really resonate with the playing group. And you don't get that output.
But a lot of that connection was built on time spent together.
True.
You look at our coaching staff back then, myself and Peter Wallace had either played under Ivan when he first got there or worked with him previously.
You too.
So there was a real connection across the coaching staff. A lot of the football staff had been there for the whole journey as well. So, we're all really good friends on the staff. And then the playing group, again, you had all those guys coming through junior levels playing with each other. Some, the boys that have played together since they were 15. And then guys like yourself that have been at the club for a long time. It was, sometimes loving each other or being connected is time spent with each other. And that's probably the challenge of going to a new club where it's all new and everyone's coming together and you don't have that same amount of trust built up.
Your first year at the Dogs, I kind of mentioned it before, but your first year at the Dogs to now, what's caused this chain reaction for change?
People. Yeah, just the people and the trust in what we're doing, I think. If we start from outside of the playing group, I think, I was new in there. I was new to being a head coach, so I sort of just thought we'd go in and this is what we're doing and everyone will believe in it and trust it. But, sometimes people have to take time to trust things and have to start to see results before they totally trust it. So I think that took a bit of time. But I think getting the right people in, I've obviously got the right people around me, like a lot of people I trust on staff, as coaching staff. And then with the playing group, it was just having the right people. 2023 to 2024, we signed 10 players, which is a big number to sign. And those guys were brought in, to model those three things I spoke about before: working hard, working together, and trusting the process.
You were ridiculed in the public too because they're all utilities. I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't care what position they played. I cared what sort of people they were. So that was all it was. How are we going to change the culture? Well, we bring in the right people. And those 10 guys, along with the guys that were still there, really changed the culture and the direction of the club.
So when you sign a player, it's a person first, player second. Is that how you look at him?
We were so bad in 2023. It didn't matter what positions or what talent we were bringing in. We had to bring in the right people, and the 10 guys we signed to bring in were all about their character and what they could bring to the club and the team. It had nothing to do with talent or what position they played. Obviously, Stephen Crichton was the head of that, and he was very talented and and an elite player who'd played in grand finals and rep teams before that. But outside of him, it was just getting the right people in, and to see some of those guys that are really taking those opportunities, like Connor Tracy, he hadn't. Vibrating.
Oh, mate,
Doctor.
mate, come on, mate. No.
To see a guy like Connor Tracy come in and just take his opportunity, he was not promised a certain position or anything. It was just come here, work hard, and there'll be an opportunity. Like, to see what he's gone on to now is incredible.
I want to hear about Bronco times. Who's smashed it? Who was top dog in that?
Lockie Galvin, 4 minutes, 14 seconds.
4 minutes, 14 seconds. That is fucking impressive.
It's unbelievable.
And who was second that? Who came second?
Tay Cochran was just after 4:20. He was pretty close. And then Connor Tracy's not long after that. But yeah, the incredible times.
Is that like a one-off, or is that like, has that been consistent? Like, his times are rough.
Yeah.
Wow. How many times did you guys do it out of curiosity?
Fair few over pre-season.
Wow.
Yeah. He even did, we did one at the start of training. We did a 90-minute solid session, and then we did another one, and he got 4:30 on the second one after running 7.5, 8 kilometres.
That is
it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What was Dill getting? Dill was getting like, was he in 420s as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he was getting, but he's the fittest guy I'd seen
Yeah,
before.
same.
He was incredible, yeah.
What's your dynamic with Gus? Like, people have this kind of certain perception on him. Like obviously he's, you know, a top dog. He's got a big aura about him. How did that relationship kind of form, and kind of how did you adjust to it?
Yeah, like as I said before, relationships are built on time spent together and trust.
Correct.
And evidence of doing the right thing. So, you know, he signed me as a player at Penrith. He gave me my first job after footy. He guided me as I was a young coach, coaching under 20s, and I've learnt so much off him over the years. Like, you know, outside of my parents and family, he's had the most influence on me probably after that. So, yeah, when he came and said that, talked to me about the vision of the Bulldogs and what it could be and where they wanted to get back to, I trusted him that it was going to happen. And yeah, and then he's trusted me sort of since I got there. Like it would have been hard to trust what I was doing in 2023, I reckon. Like and the direction we were going, but he did, and he backed me. And we talk a lot. We don't necessarily agree on everything.
That was going to be the next question.
That's why I think we've got a good trusting relationship, is because we can disagree on something, both have a different view, but then, you know, agree to commit to the same direction. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you're two different people. He's obviously been in the game for such a long time, and he's got to be respected for that. But at the same time, you're the head coach, so you're the way you want to see it.
Totally different. He loves attack.
Does he?
Loves attack, and I love defence, and he doesn't want to spend time talking about defence. So, you know, he loves gambling on horses. I don't gamble at all. Like, we're totally different people, but I think we work well together, and he's been so good for me over the last 15 years.
What's been the hardest decision so far for you as a coach having to make?
Oh, there's you probably underestimate how many decisions there are every day. Like,
I could probably imagine.
Every day,
I can imagine.
And majority of them are hard decisions, but you know, whenever you're talking about recruitment and retention, they're hard decisions. You know. And that's playing group and staff as well. Like they're all hard decisions. You're talking about an impact on people's lives there, so I don't take that lightly. But then there's decisions around, you know, how we're going to play and things like that we have to constantly debate and talk about. And you know, I don't take decisions lightly. I as I said, I trust the people around me, and I lean on them for their advice and their opinions and views, and try and take all that information and filter it and then decide what's best for the club.
The hardest thing for you as a coach will probably be having the hard conversations, or the decisions, who's playing and who's not. How have you adjusted to that as a head coach? How do you deal with that? Having to sit down with a player and go like, listen, this is where you're at. You're not playing this week. Or
they're probably the easy ones because...
Really?
Well, it's what's best for the team. And the majority of the time, the team picks itself, doesn't it? Like,
true.
You know that... if you're playing well, you're in the team. If you're doing your job, you're in the team.
Yeah.
There's times where everyone's playing well, and that becomes a difficult decision. But I got dropped plenty of times over my career, and the times I really appreciated the coach was when he was just totally honest with me. So that's the only thing I try and do. I just try and be as honest as I possibly can, and treat them the way I'd like to be treated. And then. It's not easy, but it's not hard in the end either. Yeah.
How did you adjust with? There was a big adjustment when Lockie first came to the club, and having to kind of talk to Toby and tell him, he's going to be my starting 7 now. Was that hard? Because, you know, looking outside in, you know, you got a guy that's spent the whole preseason there, trained the house down, started the year strong, and then having to like tell him, oh, sorry, but you're going to be playing reserve grade this week. Like, was that hard? That sounds hard.
Yeah, I'll tell you what made it easier was Toby's such a good person that he.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and it wasn't one conversation. Toby and I had conversations every week about his game and where we wanted to take it, and he was on board with that. He was very coachable, so team first. I can't speak highly enough of Toby Sexton, and how team first he was till the day he left. So. But it wasn't one conversation. There was conversations every week around, you know, trying to evolve and what we wanted to see, and he was trying his ass off to be the best possible version of himself, and even when Lockie got the starting halfback position there, Toby was helping him. He was helping the team. He was going back and trying to wait for an opportunity, and he ended up getting his opportunity again. And I thought he did a great job when he came on and played hooker for us as well, and did, you know, at times when he got opportunities there. So, and that's what makes a football club is at the moment we've got 40 full-time players, and we pick 17 every week, and majority of the time in good clubs, it's what those 23 players outside of the 17, their attitudes to team first and winning that really sets the best clubs apart from the rest.
See, like all those nice things you said about him, like surely there's a part of you that feels a bit bad for having him move on to a different club. Like, do you feel that? You know what I'm trying to say?
It's honestly, it's hard to see. I'll tell you what was really hard. Again, going back to 2023, but when you finish your season and you see players move on, well, players leave your club, but they don't have anything. That's the hardest thing as a coach, when someone leaves your club and they don't have a contract anywhere, or they've got to go for an opportunity that's not as good as the one they just had. The club we wanted to turn into was a place where players leave, better person, better player, but also for a better opportunity. I think, the last 12 months, 2 years, every player that's left our club has gone for a better opportunity somewhere else, and that's the club we want to be.
Another player that had to leave as well was Reid, and there's been a bit of chat about him, especially this week. He's still confused at the fact that he doesn't understand why he left. Does he understand, or have you had those conversations with him? I don't know.
Well, firstly, Reid was a great Bulldog. He was the ultimate competitor. He was really at the forefront of us changing that perception of the team we wanted to be, around connection and sticking up for your mate and competing and fighting, and he was brilliant at all that. And him leaving was dealt with by his manager and Gus and Reid. I didn't have that was sort of done behind the scenes as such. But when he lost his position in the team, it was more around Bailey Hayward and how good he was going.
Yep.
And Reid understands that. We had plenty of chats around that. He's got my number too. Like he can ring me any time.
Of course.
But yeah, it was less about Reid and more about how good Bailey Hayward was going, and we just couldn't hold him back anymore.
So you were getting pretty much the same or even better output from Bailey than you were with Reid, and that's what kind of
I don't want to go into too many specifics.
Of course, no.
Bailey Hayward, his improvement as a footballer over the last 3 years, but in particular the last 18 months, probably took us all by surprise.
Reminds you of Peter Wallace a bit, like his evolution.
Yes, he is it's hard to, if you looked at the stats and looked at all that else, you probably don't see the impact of Bailey Hayward, but when you talk to his teammates around how he makes their life easier and what he does on the field to help them do their jobs,
like what?
Then you get a real understanding of how important he is to our team. And communication, doing the little things, the way he moves, the way he tidies up things, the stuff that you probably don't see on TV, but you really value within our four walls.
Vegas is around the corner. Yeehaw. You excited? You didn't sound excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. I'm a little bit worried. I've never been to Vegas before, so I think it's.
You've never been?
Never been.
Oh wow.
Never been. That's probably why I'm a bit scared. But it's just going to be a great opportunity for our club. Firstly, we've got a lot of people going over from our club and our fans as well. So it's going to be a great opportunity to have the Bulldogs logo on the big stage. And great opportunity for our guys to go over and connect and try to see all these different experiences. We're going to the Sphere and watching the Eagles on the Saturday night before the game. So there's all these things that you'd never get to do. Rugby league's amazing to be able to take you to these certain places and do these things and share these experiences. And we'll go over in there and enjoy those things. And then, but we are there to play and we are there to perform. And that's been really clear. Our boys know that. And all those fans going over, we need to honour that by preparing the best possible way we can and performing the best we possibly can. You
sparked my memory. You mentioned logo. Now, you've got a new logo. What's your thoughts on it?
It's grown on me a lot, and I love it now.
So you did it at the start?
I don't like change in general. And the old school Bulldog was something that was like I really came to love that and
recognised.
And it reminded me of the 90s, like being back at school and the Bulldogs winning the 95 premiership. I had an emotional attachment to that. But seeing, particularly on my kids, when they wear the Bulldogs hat now and they've got the Bulldogs logo there, they love it. I love it. It's definitely grown us, but I don't like rule changes. I don't like too many changes in general. So it always takes time to grow on me, and it's now to see it up. Our season launch the other night was incredible, and to see that big Bulldog head on the walls there at Luna Park. It was like, wow, you know who the Bulldogs are. You don't need, I think Gus said it, you don't need it to say Bulldogs to know that that's the Bulldogs logo.
So was it made on ChatGPT or something? Or?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just pulling your leg. Because like when I look at the old logos as well, like the 04, was it 04 grand final? Yeah, that Bulldog, like aggressive, tough. But again, it comes back to the way you perform, right? So if you guys come and play out tough, like all those kind of key values you were saying before, then that's what the logo becomes.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And I'm attached to the 95 one because they won the comp there, and that's when I was a kid growing up, and you're attached to the 04 one, and yeah, hopefully we can play a brand of footy that has everyone attached to this new logo.
I'm sure you will, brother. So you're talking about Vegas. Is the leash going to be very short, or are you just going to let the boys, do their thing, have a bit of fun, embrace Vegas?
Yeah. Firstly, they're grown men, all right? And one of those things around our values is that we put the we before me. So if someone starts to put themselves ahead of the team, then they're going to risk playing at that stadium on the Saturday night.
That's true.
I think every single player that's going over, their number one priority being there is that they want to play at Allegiant Stadium on the Saturday night against the Dragons. So I think that's in the back of their mind, and I don't have to sit there with them on a leash. I'll trust them. They're grown men.
Yeah. Rule changes. Do you think that's going to factor in this competition much? Like, is there going to be much change in the way teams play, or you play, or the Bulldogs play?
I think it's interesting. There's a lot more. I think there'll be a bit more ball in play, considering the restart is now from the 20 metres as opposed to the 40. So, the fitter teams have been probably in the top four the last few years, and I don't think that'll change. The 6-man interchange bench is interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out, but
Don't you think that's important though? Because like if a main playmaker goes down, like you're not going to have another half.
It's the art of coaching over the last, how many years that you pick your bench based on covering all those solutions. And, as you said, we got bagged out for buying utilities, but we were able to cover any position that went down.
True.
So that makes it interesting. I feel, it's going to be really hard to manage that with some players sitting on the bench that think they're playing and might not get on, and how we manage them and their feelings after the game. I think that's going to be really important. But yeah, it's interesting times.
You know what rule I wish they brought in? If you go for like a short kickoff or a short dropout, you know how sometimes the ball might drop on the 5 metre line, and then everyone's like kind of standing around to make sure that it goes to 10, and then everyone just pretty much jumps on it. Yeah. I reckon if it goes short to 10 and bounces in on like
should be on the full, you're saying?
Then you reckon?
Yeah, probably, possibly.
It's just, I don't know, it's just shit. Like it's stupid.
Yeah. Again, I don't like too much change.
Fair.
Thinking of crazy ideas.
Is Gussie going?
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
He'd pack his jeans and his button up for sure.
And his New Balances. He said, so Gus, for those that don't know, Gus has always worn jeans and New Balances, the New Balance joggers. Yeah. And he wore them for 10 years when they weren't in fashion. And I said to him the other day, the New Balances has come into fashion. He goes, they don't sell them anymore. I said, mate, they've come into fashion. Everyone's wearing New Balances now, and you stop wearing them.
Go figure. You know, I remember vividly, you were head coach or interim head coach at the Panthers in 2018. We were going down to Melbourne. I'm pretty sure it was Cam Smith's 350th. Yeah. And we beat them down there. And I think it was only like the second time we ever beat in Melbourne while I was at the Panthers. Was that an important moment for you?
I think it was important for the club. I think it sort of, we were getting a lot of noise around that time. It was a weird time.
It was, wasn't it?
It was weird.
Oh, for you personally as well.
Yeah, and when you're in that zone, you're not thinking about that. You just think about how do we make the team better every week, and I was just zoned in on that. But I understand there was a lot of pressure around the club and a lot of noise, and I think that win was really important for us in just showing what we were capable of doing leading the semis. But again, anytime you go down to Melbourne and get a win is something pretty special. So. And the way we played that night, I thought was really good. We did things a bit different as well. Like we'd had I think we'd had a bad loss the week before, so we decided to walk to the game and just sort of, change the energy a little bit on the way to the game. And the boys come out and played really well. And give us a little kickstart going in the finals.
I remember as well, yes, we had a good chat after, congratulations everyone, blah, blah, blah. We have a short turnaround. Make sure no one goes out. Make sure you look after your injuries, have a good night's sleep, and we'll get on the plane back home tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, no worries, all good. And we're having dinner, and I'm sitting down with a couple of the boys, Nath, Tyrone, I think it was Peachy as well. And I think one of them mentioned, let's just go out, like, we won't drink, but we'll just go out. I'm like, yeah, he shouldn't have a problem with that, would he? He was like, nah. Anyway, we went upstairs, got our jeans on, got kitted up, go out the front, and I ordered the Uber. And I remember as I'm getting into the Uber across the road, I look up to the hotel, and at the team, there's this, you can see the team room, it's like from floor to ceiling glass window, and I just see Ciro just standing in the front like that. How did you even see us?
Because I was a player too, and I remember all the tricks.
But the timing, yeah. I just remember you shaking your head.
I was probably standing there for half an hour waiting for someone to go, and you're the idiots that walked out there. But
I remember calling you as well. I'm watching, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, listen, we're not getting on the drink. We're just going to go to the casino, play a bit of cards, and we'll be back in a couple of hours. Yeah, sweet, no worries.
You know what was funnier? The next morning, me and the staff went for a walk, and we came back, and there's this music coming out of this room. What the hell's that? And the door was half ajar.
Yeah.
And I walked in. 3 of the boys there, absolutely blind. Just
Really? I didn't know that. Was that the same night?
I kept it a bit quiet. Yeah.
Really? Oh wow! I did not know that. None of us. I don't think anyone knows that besides those 3 boys.
Yeah.
Was that a hard conversation, or how did you deal with that?
It wasn't much of a conversation at the time. I don't think they were understanding what I was saying.
You know what I also remember? I have fond memories of you being Sam McKendry's chaperone.
Oh, God.
At every team event, have you noticed that? Yeah. I think it was Mad Monday 2018. I think you walked him out to the front gate to get his business picked up. And what was the other one? Port Macquarie. Oh my God. Sam McKendry, if anyone doesn't really, he's no one will know him that well, but he's probably one of the best, funniest teammates ever.
I had him. I took him back. We're in Port Macquarie. He probably had too much. I said, "Come on, Sam, come back to my room." The tennis was on or something. I said, "Sit there. We'll watch the tennis." I'm thinking, I'll get him to sleep here. Sat there for an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, just waiting for him to fall asleep. Thinking it's not far. And he's nearly dozed off. I've got him. And then he just wakes up like that, jumps on the bed, starts smacking his arms. Red wine's going everywhere, and he just walks out the room. I thought, oh my God. I've done my part here.
He's like a silverback gorilla, the big Mack truck. Oh my God. Fuck. We're gonna move on here. I'm lost now. Now, obviously, you've been known for defence. Tactically, do you feel like there's been an evolution in that regard? Like when you think of defence, it was pretty much just plan A. You have one kind of edge system. It's either you're jamming or you're either sliding off. Yeah. Is it important in the modern day game that you need to have a bit of both?
Oh, definitely. I think, definitely probably changed 10 years ago, maybe more. I think, probably as I retired, it probably changed. I think the Roosters were probably the first team to become really good at decision-making defence, and they won the comp in 2013 and had a bit of success after that. And then been a lot of good defensive teams since. But I think, there's an art and there's a science of defence, and part of the science is all the the system stuff, and part of the art is all the decision making. So it fascinates me. I sort of spend a lot of time trying to learn about it and implement as much as we can. But it's.
Have you always been passionate about defence over attack? It's always been your thing.
Oh, I love both. I think being an assistant coach at attack helped me understand defence a lot better. I love defence early, even before I started playing NRL. I remember the Roosters teams of the early 2000s, that rushing defence style. They fascinated me. And then the Melbourne Storm defensive teams after that. I was always, just so interested in what they were doing, why they were doing it, how they were doing it. And sometimes you're watching defence thinking, how do you break it down? That's the fascinating part of it. But, for me, I sort of, when I started coaching under 20s, I spent a lot of time, around trying to understand different systems and things like that. And then, once it was time for me to build my own system, try to take ideas from everywhere.
At an elite level, what are non-negotiables for a good defensive system?
You just can't take a play off. Like I said before, like what are your standards? You just can't take a play off ever.
I recall you saying, always get in position early.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you obviously have the ability to scan, to adjust and see, like adjust your spacings, adjust your depth, or be ready to come off the line with speed. But it's funny though, because like something so simple wasn't taught to me until like late in my career, which I found really bizarre. But how important is it in the modern day game to win the middle defensively?
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously with the speed and the fatigue.
Everyone's trying to control the game, and I think it's not just the middle. I think it's the edges as well. But everyone's trying to make sure you've got enough time to control the game. But it's important, but there's so many things that are important in winning a game.
Yeah.
There's so many. Like possessions, probably the most important thing. The biggest indicator of winning is probably possession, field position, things like that. But you can't, if you just focus on one thing, there's so many things that add up to winning a football game.
Do you still value wrestle in that regard?
Yeah, I think every team does the same thing in that regard. Well, the thing I love about wrestle, and I think we've got the best wrestle coach in the game in Alex Prates and his team. It's the fitness that it gives you and the resilience it gives your body. So we don't wrestle so much for controlling the ruck or anything like that. Obviously that stuff helps, and the body awareness, because every tackle's different. It's nearly impossible to practice for every tackle, but the wrestling that we do at training, that gives me great confidence for our fitness in particular, but also injury prevention.
It feels like sometimes when you're doing wrestle, you get to a point where like you're almost getting smothered and suffer. It's like a very, very vulnerable place to be in. Like I'd rather the feeling of running laps and being on your last legs compared to being on the ground, wrestling and trying to assert dominance on your opposing guy. That is a completely different level, man.
I think because it's not you're always learning with wrestling. I think our guys have learnt to love it. Like they love competing. They love trying new things to beat each other. And I think it's such a good thing for kids as well. Like I took my son with those guys to wrestle at their gym when he was 5 or 6, and before he played footy. And I think it's the best thing he did in terms of preparing to play footy. The body awareness that it gives you, understanding posture and where to put your head, and the awareness around your body and mechanics there. I think nearly every kid should be doing wrestling before they start tackling on the weekend.
My son just started as well.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. Edge defense. Obviously, there's different schemes. There's systems, like you said, rushing, sliding, defense, and whatnot. But it's a bit of a balance in the sense that you've got your system, but sometimes you have to rely on instincts as well, right?
Yeah.
How do you mesh the two together and enforce that with your players?
Well, how do you get instincts?
For repetition.
Yeah, repetition and experience and things like that. So we try and emulate as much of that in training as we can. So put them in different scenarios with different pictures and trying to get stops at different ways, and we do as much of that as we can. But the best learning is going to be on game day. So for our guys to go out on game day and trust those instincts and learn from it every time, that's the greatest teacher.
The one thing I remember with you as well that I value to your team is the no talent required effort areas. So your kick chase, you're working for a marker, your line speed, first contact, all that stuff. Do you still value that?
Oh, definitely. I think every team values it. Probably other teams talk about it more than some. I think our environment is really good at celebrating the guys that commit to that.
I think it celebrates everyone though. You know what I mean? Like when you score a try, it kind of you celebrate the guy that scored it most of the time. But if you've got the guys that are making those effort areas, like you said before, then that's open to everyone, the whole 17.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the least talented guys that get the most celebrated in review, because they're the ones going after those effort areas, and that's how you truly value it.
Why did you want to become a coach?
I didn't really at the start. I was always interested in coaching, but I sort of was interested in coaching to coach my son's weekend team or maybe coach an SG Ball or Matthews Cup team in the future. I applied for the Firefighters to start with.
Did you?
Yeah, that last couple of years I was playing, I applied for the Firefighters twice.
Was 2013 your last year or
2013. And I got to the second stage or something, didn't get in. So I wasn't thinking about coaching as such then. Then my last pre-season I was injured. I didn't train the whole pre-season. So I started to go, well, all right, my body's starting to give up on me here. I went down to SG Ball training at Penrith at Patrician Brothers at Blacktown and just started watching their training, watching what they were doing. I was thinking maybe, do a development officer role until I figured out what I wanted to do. And then I just started getting involved with this SG Ball team. And in this SG Ball team was Sione Katoa, Sony Luke, Tyrone May, Christian Crichton, Robert Jennings, Brent Naden,
Wow.
Moses Leota. Probably missing a couple there, but I just loved being around them. I loved watching them grow and learn, and I loved them asking me questions. And so I ended up just tagging on with them for their SG Ball season. So it was, I'd go down to training every week. I'd go to their games on weekends. I just became immersed in it. I loved it. And then I didn't think much of it, but then sort of halfway through the year, I think Ivan and Gus brought me in and said, we're not going to re-sign you for next year. What do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't know if I want to keep playing. And then they said, we think you'd do well as a coach, and we'd like to keep you here and give you a job here. And that's awesome. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, but I needed a job, so that was a good start. And then over that sort of couple of years, I was assistant coach of under-20s to Trent Barrett to start with, and learned so much off him. And then I took over, my own team after that, and just I really enjoyed it. 2 years with those guys, and I think the main reason I enjoyed it was because they were such good kids. I think I could have gone into another environment with people that weren't so interested in learning or interested in getting better or had the same values as me, and I probably would have just walked away from it and I'd be doing something else now. But I think one of the main reasons I'm here is because of the players I coached when I first got an opportunity, and how much how hard they worked to give me a chance at having a career at this. But after that, I sort of thought, assistant coaching, that was sort of going to be the pinnacle. That's as far as I'd really wanted to take it. But the interim role in 2018 sort of gave me a little taste of what it was like, and maybe a little bit of confidence that I could do that in the future. So it sort of just evolved. It was never like that's the end goal and that's what I wanted to do. It just sort of panned out.
Do you feel being a coach and a father, there's a bit of an alignment there?
100%. I talked to the boys the other day about this around my philosophy on parenting and coaching is exactly the same.
Wow.
Maybe I've got one of them wrong, I don't know. But the principles around that for me are exactly the same.
Seeing all the guys you just mentioned, and obviously in the 20s did you have Nath as well, and Jerome?
Yeah, they weren't in that SG Ball team, but the year after, Nathan, Jerome,
Martin,
Fisher Harris,
Liam
Martin,
Dill,
all those guys started to come through that next year.
Could you see the trajectory leading to what has become?
Well, no, because I had no experience in understanding what a player looked like at that age and what they'd go on to. Like, I'd been in an NRL program for 9 or 10 years, but I was a player and I wasn't sort of thinking about those things. And that's what, as I said before, that's where you rely on guys like Gus and Ivan to go, they could probably see the NRL players well before they were NRL players, but I was just in the process. I was just like trying to teach them.
Amazing.
The reason, one of the reasons I got into coaching, because what I knew at 28 or 29, I wish I'd known at 20. So my motivation for going down to help those SG Ball players was if I can just give them a little bit of the information I know now at 28, when they're 20, hopefully that's going to help them.
How old were you retired?
28 or 29.
Were you? I thought you were in your 30s for some reason.
No.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I had the shoulder operation, the knee operation, the same preset. My body was done. It was.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that talented to be able to cover up for my body giving way. So I think I was lucky to get that far, to be honest.
And this is no disrespect to the boys, but like having them grow together, like did that improve their growth? Like did that help their growth? Being elite players?
I think so. I think, as you said, when you get to an NRL team, one of the biggest things is connection.
Yeah.
And those guys had a natural connection from time spent together. So I think that was a real bonus for them all. And then because they're all such great people as well, they're really good guys, and so they would have helped each other along the way, and they were in a good club, a really good club.
Do you have a similar vision with the Bulldogs?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a totally different club. That's what I've come to realise is every club's different. The way we do things here at the Bulldogs is totally different to the way things we did at Penrith, but the philosophies are the same. Like Gus has built clubs for how many decades now. So his idea is getting the kids in young, teaching them how to be Bulldogs, bringing them through good pathway systems with the right coaching and the right high performance and the right standards and the right culture. And then, you get these kids coming through. Like we've won 2 Jersey Flegg comps the last couple of years, and we've got a crop of kids coming through. Like Harry Hayes has come through that system. Bailey Hayward's come through that system. We've got a few more we'd like to see come through this year and over the next few years. And that's why I was drawn to this club, because it's what I know. Pathways and building from within is what I know.
So you do kind of earmark 6 or 7 players coming through the juniors as potential first graders?
Yeah, possibly 6 or 7, but it's not like they're earmarked. We've got every player in the Bulldog system is a chance of playing NRL.
Got ya.
And we treat them all the same in that regard. There's guys that are maybe more talented than the others, but I think if you're... I'm going to take Mitch Kenny, for example, at Penrith.
Amazing.
He might not have been one of the guys that was earmarked at 16, 17, 18, but he was the hardest worker there. So they're the guys you're looking for as well. I think Bailey Hayward's very similar to that. He was a halfback that maybe didn't know if he was going to go to the next level, but his work ethic and his coachability has forced him into our top 13 players.
That was going to be my next question. Like, out of all the players that you mentioned, like, who is the best example that puts hard work first and then talent second?
We got a lot of them, to be honest. We got a lot of them, to be fair. The 2 guys I mentioned there, Harry Hayes and Bailey Hayward, are probably the 2 best examples of guys that, probably weren't the highest rated kids coming through, but they were the hardest workers. And that's the stuff we've valued in our team over the last couple of years, and they are 2 really important pieces of our team now.
Didn't Dylan Edwards have a kind of similar trajectory into first grade?
Yeah, I think so. He came down as a 5'8" from Dorrigo, but he, in our under-20s team, he just basically played every position because he was the hardest worker. He started on the wing, he went to the centres, he played hooker, he got a chance in the halves, and then he eventually got a opportunity at fullback and never looked back.
When you left Penrith to take on the head coaching role of the Dogs, and a few players ended up following you, did that put you in an awkward position with your former club?
No. So Birdo and Kicks had already they'd already signed here before I got here, so that was done. Right. Critter was the interesting one that he I don't know what happened there, but I don't think he had an offer on the table. But I rang Matt Cameron and Ivan before we spoke to Critter, and so it was all done, through the front door. And then Jaeman Salmon was a guy that was probably looking for an opportunity to play more minutes and get more NRL time. And Jaeman and I had a really good relationship from Penrith. And he's from same area as me, so he was an easy one to come across.
Beautiful. Well, we're up to Truth or Sauce. Let's get into it. Woo! We're sweating now. Bro! During your playing career at the Knights, you suffered one of the most gruesome injuries we've seen. I remember you broke your ankle pretty badly. Yep. How did you recover from that injury, mentally and physically?
I thought about this the other day. The boys actually put the photo up the other day and asked me about it. Interesting. I think if I start with this, like, it was probably, I wouldn't be in this position I am in now if I didn't go through that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Our assistant coach at Newcastle at the time was Trent Robinson, and it was round 2. I was out for the whole season, and he just started giving me little challenges around going to watch the opposition middles, present back to the team. So I started to do little unit meetings for the forward pack in terms of what the opposition we were coming up against. So I started to look at football differently and started to think about it from a coach's perspective, and unknowingly, what was going to happen in the future. But I think that sort of period of development there has a lot of bearing on where I'm sitting right now. So I think, as in most things in life, sometimes the adversity you go through is one of the greatest gifts you can have. But how did I get through it? I remember this vividly. Like, as soon as I broke my leg, you obviously shattered. Like, I'm off contract. I've got 3 kids. What next? So I started to think about what was the worst case scenario, and then, all right, well, if that's it, that I've finished now and I've got to go get a job and doing whatever, that's fine. But I'm just going to give it everything I've got. A couple of years before that, Anthony Tupou had broken his leg and had come back, a lot lighter and a better player. And I just remember, if he's done that, there's no reason I can't. So I remember from the first day I was in hospital, people were trying to bring me in like, just shit food like Macca's or something like that. And I'd just say, nah, get it away from me. I'm only eating good food. I'm ticking every box here to make sure I come back and play again. So that were a couple of things that stuck out. And then just the way Newcastle backed me. There was a chairman there at the time that, and Brian Smith as well, that, could see how hard I was working and the commitment I had to coming back. And they backed me to give me another contract, which I don't know why they did, to be honest. Like, my leg was not great, but yeah, you appreciate those sort of guys.
What about physically? What was the recovery like?
It was hard.
When did you start running?
After 4 months. I actually got back to be 18th man for the semi-final. Like, that was...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 4 months?
Ended up being 6 months, I think. Yeah. It was hard, but like every rehab's hard. Every recovery after a game's hard. Like, it's just different levels of hard. It's still hard now. Like, it's hard to get out of walk down the stairs in the morning. Like, we've actually put a steam shower in at home that I go in the morning in the shower, turn the steamer on just to warm up. Otherwise, if I go down the stairs, I sort of can't get down the stairs properly. So I don't know how good that's going to go in the next 20 years or so, but yeah.
What was the diagnosis? I know it looked pretty obvious, but the full diagnosis, what happened to it?
I think it was broken in 4 places, but obviously the dislocation was the part that was a bit freaky as well.
Yeah, man.
It took a long time to get back in. And
how long?
Well, they couldn't get it initially in the sheds. It took a long time. I just remember they were tugging on it for a long time. One of my guys in the bridal party at my wedding, Adam Dykes, was in the sheds with me, just holding my hand and just like squeezing my hand, and yeah, it was pretty full on. But yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Question 2. Do you want me to go question 2, or you want to ask me a question?
You go.
All right.
Yours the other way.
All right. Who's been the hardest player to coach? And I know you're going to do it. He's going to say me, but I'm not going to take that for a second. So
I think I've learnt the most off the players that were harder to coach. So I think so I was always worried I was only at Penrith. So I was only at Penrith and I only coached one group of players and I'd never gone to other clubs. But I think I'm not going to say you're the hardest player to coach, but you and Mahoney were some of the most challenging for different reasons. But yeah, I think that helps you grow as a coach as well. Why were you the hardest? Why were you the challenging guy to coach?
Well, I spoke about this with Nath. Like, I was hard.
I thought Nathan did a great job to draw this out, actually.
Yeah, I struggled with criticism. I always kind of took it as an attack. Yeah. So in my head, and the reason I took it as an attack was because I was always like a perfectionist, and I always wanted to play my perfect game, and I was very hard on myself. And so when I was receiving criticism, and especially when I was receiving criticism in front of the group, I always felt like I was being put on show, where my outlook wasn't the right way to think. Like, it was more like, it's an example for the group, and just fuck your feelings, fuck your ego. Just, you made a mistake, just own it and learn from it. And I probably didn't take it the right way. I thought I got better, but yeah, it's probably one thing in one area which I rather improved on early in my career, because I feel like if you have that mindset, it's not a growth mindset. Like, you're never going to be open to getting better. It's weird because I always worked hard, but fuck, if I worked hard in that area, I probably could have been maybe a better player. I don't know.
So how would you have coached yourself?
So if I made it, like, for me personally, if I knew that I didn't like being put on show in front of a group and made an example of, I probably had one-on-one sessions. I probably gravitated. That's why I used to come to see you one-on-one quite a bit and ask you questions. Like, I felt like I connected with you better in that regard, and I learnt more rather than in like a theatre full of the boys.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah, that's good.
Accountability. Hey.
Mahoney was the other challenging one, which I tell him face to face. But what he taught me was he didn't care what you were telling him to do. He just wanted to know why you had to do it and what you were doing it for. So he taught
I just had a lot of questions.
Yeah, he would argue with me about everything. Oh, you'd remember people would look at us like we didn't like each other, but we argued about everything. But he didn't care what we were doing. He just wanted to know why we were doing it.
Yeah,
and it was a great
enough.
lesson for me in my early years of coaching.
So who was the hardest player?
You and Maloney for different reasons.
You can't. I know. There's no way. Oh, fair enough. I'll cop it on the
There's
chin.
been some others, but
Yeah, if there, it's fine.
yeah. But I think the great thing about while you two were challenging, we're still great. I'm great mates with both of you to this day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was my 2 questions.
Oh,
I thought I went. Oh shit!
What do you got here?
He's
I did see
prepared for
Nathan
this.
got to ask.
Sorry.
Nathan got to ask questions, so I thought I should too. Who was your favourite teammate and why?
I'm similar to you. Like I don't want to I don't like ranking them because I thought every teammate I had was good in their own way. I love playing with Nathan. I loved his poise, his calmness around the team, his leadership, particularly at a young age. I loved Dylan. I played well with Dylan because I knew he'd always have my back. Like if we're talking like position wise, in terms of our pendulum, I always knew and linked up with him really well. Yeah. And to be fair, Matty Moylan was one I loved playing with as well. It's you know how you have like a connection with players. Yeah. Me and Matty kind of almost had like this telepathy. Like it was weird. Like in terms of attacking shape, defensive shape in our pendulum, like we worked really well together in that regard. Yeah. I love Dylan as well. Going back to Dylan, I know I'm harping on these two, but his communication was second to none. Having a loud voice at the back there, especially at fullback, just makes everyone feel comfortable. So those 2 guys, and if I want to talk about centres, probably Crito as well as my centre. Yeah. And he was so, like, I would love to play with him now. Yeah. Like if I love playing with him that much at 20, 21?
Yes, 19, 20, yeah.
Like what a privilege to play outside him now. Yeah. I would love to play just with his leadership, his confidence as a player, his athleticism, his physical dominance. Yeah. He has every attribute to be a great centre. And obviously, as a winger, playing outside that, you reap the rewards.
Nice. 2 more questions. Fascinated Wayne Bennett. You got to be coached by him. So what makes him so good?
Understanding personalities. Knowing when to have a hard conversation with you. Knowing when someone needs a lift, an arm around the shoulder. His presence as well, like his aura. He has a bit of an aura about him. Obviously, that comes from what he's done in his coaching career. But also he lives by the standards that he enforces. So if we're talking about training hard, coming on time, like he lives by all those standards. So it's, he's a walking example of that. And he fucking backs you. Like he instills so much confidence in you as a player, and that's what you want. Like it's no secret ingredient. Like he's not the most tactical coach. He's not like he wouldn't know about attacking sets. He wouldn't know about what defensive systems are. Like he doesn't know any of that. He just knows about hard work, like you said, and knowing when to get a team up and steer him in the right direction, which is fucking winning a premiership. He just gets everyone on board. Connection is another thing. He knows how to connect the group really, really well. So nice. That's probably those 2 things. Fuck.
Probably the last one.
Oh fuck.
You started at You started at Penrith in 2012 as a trained trialist.
Yeah, 40 grand.
Yeah. How many players did we have training then?
50
something players.
50. Yeah. It was crazy. You know what? When I signed, naturally, what you do, you look at the roster and you see where you are in the pecking order, and there was like 8 outside backs, and I was probably number 8. Yeah. It was what, Sandor Earl, Michael Gordon, Junior T. Khalifi, Etu Asili, Malachi was there as well, Latini Zalesniak. Who else was there? David Simmons, me, and I'm pretty sure Jeff Daniela was kind of playing a bit of wing as well.
Yeah.
So it was like a pretty big department in the outside backs.
50 players, and we did fitness every single day. But we finished 15th that year.
Yep.
In your last year at Penrith in 2020, you finished first. What was the biggest difference across your time there?
Personally or team or
Just anything.
environment?
Why? So you rocked up there 2012, you finished 15th, you leave. Last year you finished first. What was the biggest change in that time? Like obviously there was a lot of change, but
So much.
What's the biggest change?
Standards, applying yourself to your training and your commitment as well. That first year, there was a lot of change. There was a lot of players coming and going, the first couple of years, I should say, and also just the personnel, having everyone like strive for a common goal. Like there was so many sacrifices that didn't go unnoticed. Like everyone, all the playing group knew it and knew how important it was, and everyone applied themselves in winning football games and wanting to win a premiership. And that's probably the biggest change that I noticed. And just the level of accountability, the level of the training we applied ourselves in week in, week out. It was just so consistent. It was so consistent. It was unwavering. Like no one got ahead of themselves. That year, that 2020 year, if you recall, we lost one regular season game. It was so easy to get like comfortable with ourselves and be like, fuck, we're going good here. Like we can cut a corner there. I don't have to sit in the ice bath after the training session there. I don't have to go and do 4 sets here on my bench. I can just do 3. There was just zero. There was no cutting corners. You talk about excellence. That was the perfect example of excellence in everything we do. The way we eat, the way we present ourselves, the way we get on the bus, get off the bus, everything. Like it was something I will never take for granted. It was probably the most enjoyable year I've ever had as a player because of those things, all those things. Yeah, we trained hard. Yeah, we spent a lot of time together, like rather than, going out and, chasing girls or whatever it was, or spending time with our mates. We just loved being together. And even though if we're getting smashed on the paddock, we knew it was for a good reason. I hope that was a good answer.
It was good.
Oh, thanks. Well, I think that's a wrap. What do you reckon? Thanks so much, brother, for coming in. I'm definitely going to be seeing you in Vegas, so I promise I won't corner you. And
I think you need to wear shirts in the nightclubs there, not singlets. So
you reckon?
Maybe pack one.
Well, if the UFC can get me in with a singlet, I can get in anywhere. Ciro, best of luck, brother, for this year.
Mate.
Thanks for
Cheers.
coming on.